We went to the Smithsonian. We went to all these different museums. All the different sites. We saw so much. And then then after that, we went to Philadelphia in that same trip. And saw more history, the Liberty Bell, and so much of that history. That whole area of the country is just so full of the history of the United States. So certainly was a great, wonderful trip for me. Plus, we got to see a lot of Mom's side of the family, because her whole good chunk of her side of the family is from Philadelphia. So it was good to see people and see where, places where she hung out when she was a little kid, see their old family home and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that trip too. It wasn't my favorite, but I definitely enjoyed that trip. I liked how when we were at the hotel, we had a perfect view from our hotel room of the Washington Monument, and I thought that was so cool when we were in DC. So that was definitely one of my favorites by far. But my favorite trip, I think, was when we went to Texas to celebrate, I think it was Aunt Julie's wedding, and we also went to the Dallas Zoo. And I don't know why that was my favorite. I really like Texas. I think it's because the heat is totally different from the heat where we live in Illinois, because it's not a humid heat. It's just like a stale, dry heat, and I think I prefer that so much more than the humid, sticky heat, because I don't know why. It's just it feels better on my skin than so I really liked going to Texas, and I liked going to the Dallas Zoo with Kayla and Justin, and I really liked that.
It was such a fun trip, and being around all that family. And
yeah,
what we did is we rented an enormous house, and a whole mess of us stayed in that house. I mean, aunts, uncles, my parents, and we were all in different rooms in that house. And so when we get up for breakfast, we're all together. When we're meeting for dinner, we're all together. And so to have that amount of family, in that close proximity is just a lot of fun. And then also it's, at the end of the week, it's really nice to, go your separate ways afterwards as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked that house. It had a pool table, and it had a pool and a hot tub, and it was just a really nice house.
Yeah.
But I really liked how everybody was all in the same place.
It's quite an impressive house.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice.
So what are your thoughts about a vacation that you'd like to take that we haven't taken?
I think going to New York would be kind of cool, because we live near Chicago, which is a very big city, but we have never actually stayed there for a while. So I think either going to a big city and staying there for like a weekend or something, because I think that would be really cool to experience the city life where we have to get around that way. We've only ever gone for a day and just come back in the same day. So I think it would be cool to live there for a little bit, and I don't know how that would go, because it's apparently very loud in cities at night, so it might be hard to sleep. But I think that would be a really
windows.
Cool experience. Yeah.
You can close the windows.
Yeah. But I think that would be really cool.
It would be very easy to do here, obviously, because we could take the train into Chicago and be there in an hour and 10 minutes. But going to New York, that would be really fun. I did that when I was traveling on business, and I really, really loved the city. So I think that would be great for us to experience as a family.
Yeah. And I also would want to go to Hollywood, because, well, it's another really big city, but I think just walking around
It's really not
area,
that big. It really isn't.
But I think walking around the area and hopefully stumbling upon some random celebrities, I think that would be really, really cool.
I've been there 2 or 3 times, each time on business, never saw a single celebrity.
What?
I think they avoid it.
Oh. Well,
too many tourists.
I think I would want to go there. I don't necessarily want to go to like Disney World or Disneyland or anything. I really want to go to Paris. That's one of my dreams, is to go to Paris, because I think it would just be the coolest experience ever. But
that's cool, and I know we're trying to put that in place for next year. Isn't it next year?
Yeah, next year.
That your French club is going to Paris?
French.
So we're going to see if we can do that for next year.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
We're not invited.
Yeah, there's definitely some places I want to go to. I want to go to Italy to visit Aunt Jean, because I think it's a very beautiful scenery, and I'd want to visit her and see some of her artwork, because she's an artist. And then also I want to go to England, because I heard they have very good food there.
Your mom and I went to Italy back before all of you were born, And it was an amazing trip. The country, the pace of life, the appreciation for all that is around them. The produce and the food that they actually make. They have so much pride in it, and actually everything they do. I mean, they have a flower festival, which that shows they take huge pride in the flowers that they grow, and so it's just an amazing experience. It's a very, very different way of life.
So those are some of the places I'd want to go to. But what about you?
Definitely, I'd love to go back to Italy. I'd like to go to Ireland. I've been to Jamaica. I'm not sure I'd want to go back to Jamaica. It's a very, very poor country, and kind of, when you're in the resorts, it was beautiful, but once you got out of the resorts, it was very depressing. So I'd probably want to skip that. We'd go to, I don't know, I would love to go to Asia, maybe hit China and Japan, and maybe even some of the smaller Asian countries too. I think there's a lot of places I'd like to go.
See, yeah, I would want to go there too, but I just don't know what kind of food I would eat there because I'm not really into like sushi or rice or anything. So
yeah, that would be really hard for you, since that's a staple for most of the world.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, good. Any other thoughts that you have about family vacations at this point? I hope this has helped some of the families out there to get a better idea of how to take a family vacation, especially with a teenager or a teenager who has siblings who fight.
I don't think we've had many issues fighting on vacation. I think it's kind of hard when we're in a hotel room and there's only 2 beds and there's 5 of us in the family. So one of us either has to sleep on a couch or sleep on the floor or sleep on a extra pull-out bed or something like that.
If I could make an appeal to hotel operators out there, it's to have at least a couple rooms for a family of 5. It seems like every single hotel room is designed for 2 or 4 people, and for a family of 5, it just makes it incredibly cramped and incredibly difficult. So that's why we tend to stay at one hotel chain, because they are able to accommodate us comfortably.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. See you next time on Hey Emma. Bye. If you like this podcast, please click the like button so more people can find our podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get updates when the latest episode drops. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can email us at dad@growingwithgirls.com. And of course, more information can be found at our website, growingwithgirls.com. Speak at you next time!
Check it, checkity check. Sibilance.
Sibilance?
Sibilance. That's what I said. Sibilance.
What's sibilance?
I don't know. What's the name? It's what you do when you're testing microphones. You say sibilance.
No.